So this is my second recording on Agent Core, AWS Bedrock Agent Core. And in this recording, we'll see how we can use Agent Core memory, right? So if I go to Agent Core, um, there is a service called memory. Um, we can create the memory through the console, but we will do it programmatically. And first, we will see how we can create memory for short-term memory and then retrieve it. Right? So let me go to my PyCharm. So first of all, we need um, to create a client, so memory client. This is part of the Bedrock Agent Core SDK, right? And then I call the create memory function of the memory client. Passed it in name. This is the name of the memory store that I'm going to create and a description of that memory store. So let me remove this. So when I create this memory, let me run this. It will create the memory with a memory ID, right? This is something that will need later on to retrieve the memory. So let me put it here. Now, when I created this memory, if I go back to Agent Core, we should see a memory store that got created. This is the memory store that we created, right? And yeah, so this is so we can integrate tracing also. I have not explored this yet, right? And when we start retrieving memory, some observability related metrics will also be shown here, right? So now that we have created the memory, let's populate the memory with some events, right? So let me go to the populate memory. So here, again, I created the client, memory client, and then this is not required. Right? Then I created a function where I'm passing the memory ID, actor ID. So what is actor ID? Actor ID, if I go to the um, documentation, actor ID is the identifier of the actor, right? Like who is creating that memory. It could be an agent or a user, right? So the actor ID and then a session ID. The session ID is a unique identifier for the particular conversation that is happening between a user and a let's say an agent system, right? And the messages, right? The messages again need to be a tuple, list of tuple, where you'll have message and the role, right? Who is actually uh, generating that message? Is it a tool? Is it a assistant? Is it user, right? That is how the message structure is, right? So first we'll see how we can use this to create some memory, right? So the main, I need the memory ID. So let me go back here and get the memory ID. So I can get the memory ID from here. This is the memory ID, right? Or when I created the memory, then also it returned me the memory ID, right? So I'll pass the memory ID here. Then let's say the actor is me, my user ID, and this is the session ID, like session ID for a particular conversation. And let's say this is say, let me first create this as a memory, right? So here I'm saying, okay, hi, I'm having trouble with my order 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the user, right? So I will create the memory. So to create the memory, I will um, create it using my create short-term memory function that I just showed, right? This is the function where I'll take the memory ID, actor ID, session ID, and the message, right? And call the create event function of the memory client, right? So, and the memory that I'm going to, short-term memory I'm going to add is this, right? Messages. So when I run it, so the first memory got created. It will have its own session ID. See, this is that it has this, sorry, event ID. The session ID will always, like since I'm passing the session ID is still as 001, but it has an event ID. So next, let's say as part of the conversation, the next um, message is this, which is created by the assistant. I'm sorry to hear that. Let me look up your order. Then the next memory is stored. It got another event ID, right? And let us create one more where there is a tool call, right? So as the conversation is happening, we can store this short-term memory into the memory store that we created, right? Let us create the last one. And then later, when so as part of the session, right? If we want to retrieve some of the memory for the subsequent conversation, I can retrieve that memory also. For the retrieve, I created this function called list memory, again passing the memory ID, the actor ID, the session ID, and the max results is so if a conversation so far has created um, 5 messages or 5 event, right? So event is like in an event, I can add only one message, like how I showed it right now, or in an event, I can uh, store multiple messages also, right? In our case, what we have seen so far, in an event, we stored only one message. So max results means how many events I want, how many past events I want to retrieve from the memory, right? That is what this max results control, right? And here I said list events, I pass the memory ID, actor ID, session ID, and max results, and return the conversations, right? So let's retrieve some memory that we have uploaded or that we have updated, right? For that, I'm calling the list memory, right? So I'm calling the list memory, passing the memory ID, the actor ID, the session ID. I'm saying give me the last 2 events from the memory, from the short-term memory, right? And from the result, I'm getting the payload, right? Conversation, and then I'll print the conversation that event, right? So let me run this. If I run this, you'll see that it gives me the last two, right? Which is the tool call. Yeah, the last message that we put was the tool call, and before that we had this thing here, right? So the last call, uh, this is what we put into the memory, right? So last in, first out when I'm retrieving it, right? And then since I said max results equal to 2, it's giving me the last 2 events, right? That's how the short-term memory has been designed in the agent core memory. And I'm going to now explore on the long-term memory also. But if I look at it, it is similar to some of the other products, like if you have seen Mem0, right? Uh, Similar to that, but it is now a managed memory or on AWS Bedrock, right? Um, okay, so next, let me uh, explore the long-term memory. Thank you.